So Dr. Mader, thank you for sitting down and talking with me and being a guest on Beyond the Script. I'm excited to have you.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of working with you in community and learning a lot about you, so I'm excited to introduce our listeners to you.
Well, thank you again for the opportunity.
Yeah. All right, so let's jump in.
Okay.
So what inspired your transition from clinical pediatrics to system integration, and how did your bedside experience play a part and shape your justice lens?
Sure. So I think let's start off with a little bit of my history.
Okay.
I'm an immigrant. Came to the United States at the age of 5 and lived in poverty for about 5-6 years.
Okay.
That is key because in India, we were quite wealthy. So I went from wealth to poverty. Wow. And so that really set the stage of kind of learning, understanding the challenges, and having seen them personally.
Okay.
So then we move into medical school and pediatric training. And at that time, you really didn't talk as much truly about the social drivers of health. You did, but you didn't identify them as social drivers.
Okay.
And a lot of time that you spend in school and residency, you work with the marginalized population. And so, again, saw the differences between marginalized populations as well as those that were not.
Okay.
And they all have their own different challenges. All right. And then moving on from training to then my clinical career, because I think having that personal experience, most of my clinical career was focused on marginalized populations.
Really?
Only 1 year was not. But in my 20 plus years, the rest were. And so I have a lot of stories from that clinical side, from that bedside piece that are still resonating with me. They still stay with me. And, it could be as simple as children that are asthmatic. And, some children need ventilation. They need aerosol machines.
Okay.
Well, you have to plug them in. And so when single moms or single dads or families have to decide, am I going to spend my $20 on food or electricity? That's a tough call.
It is.
That's a tough call. Because if you have a child with asthma, you're in essence saying one is more important than the other, and it's not. So I have those stories over and over as examples.
Yeah.
In 2008, I switched trajectories. So because of everything that I saw clinically, and then just saw how changes were happening in the community, that's when I entered the world of public sector.
Wow. Wow. So working with marginalized populations, was that intentional, or did your path kind of just lead you there? Or did you intentionally say?
I intentionally said.
Yeah.
Yes, I intentionally. So in residency, I had the opportunity to work in the private setting.
Okay.
Because we have what they call electives. But my big focus was the marginalized population. In fact, I spent an extra year doing a fellowship.
Really?
Yes, with that population. And so that was what we used to call in the old time our clinics. And at that time, so I did residency in the early 90s. So at that time, our clinics, so-called, were in the hospital settings themselves. Now they're all outpatient, but meaning like in offices and communities.
Okay.
But at that time, we were in the hospital settings.
Okay.
And again, saw the difference between my electives in outpatient versus my mandatory requirements in clinic.
Wow. Wow. So you've talked about how your experience has kind of shaped your justice lens.
It has.
But are there pediatric programs or health programs in particular that have kind of helped shape your lens further? Like any childhood programs or anything that you're like,
Yes.
okay, yeah, this
Yes.
is a justice issue.
Yes. Of course, being a pediatrician, children are my love.
Yeah.
And, we when we talk about in our society, we talk about health, we usually think first and foremost physical health, but it's so much more. there's spiritual health, there's emotional health, mental, intellectual, environmental, financial. You take a look at all that. And while our children may not have all of those facets of health in their life, meaning at that time, their families do.
Yeah.
And so when you take a look at early childhood, the brain, 85% of the brain is developed by the age of 3.
Wow.
85%. And so early childhood initiatives, early childhood programs, whether they are formalized or not. So formalized could be high quality childcare,
Okay.
okay? And then it could be high quality preschool. But informal programs could be just as significant. And those could be as simple as a parent spending time reading to their child. Reading. That allows for language acquisition. That allows for a parent-child relationship. I read to my unborn child.
Did you?
I sure did. I'm a big proponent of reading because that sets the stage for literacy and academic achievement in the future.
Yeah.
We have wonderful, wonderful early childhood programs, but the access is not there for everyone.
Say it again.
There is unequal access. We want and encourage our families to work. And sometimes it is so cost prohibitive that families make that choice, saying, well, one parent is not going to work. And then it's even more complex for a single parent household. And we, for our marginalized populations, there is an opportunity to have publicly funded childcare and public preschool, but the eligibility requirements are extremely restrictive, extremely restrictive. And so we are really doing a disservice to our children.
Yeah.
Because early childhood programs in the future, they allow for academic success.
Yes.
They allow for increased workforce initiatives. They allow for increased health and well-being. Again, in all the facets. And they allow for actually increased community safety.
True.
So we're shortchanging ourselves when we don't support early childhood programs for all.
Yeah. And sometimes we compartmentalize things. Like we think, well, oh, that's for the kids. No, it's for us because they're going to become big people.
That's correct.
And they're going to be in this world and they're going to be taking care of us at these hospitals and places. And, I read a study a long time ago, and I'm probably going to get it wrong, but there's research that children that grow up in poverty hear 300,000 or 3 million less words, words.
Correct.
Than children that don't grow up in poverty.
Correct.
That's huge.
Correct. That's that language literacy. So there was in Stark County, the early childhood arena years ago. It was through the Early Childhood Resource Center, and then it evolved to stakeholders coming together called Great Starts for Great Futures, and that's a huge focus for them. Was about language acquisition, and again, the more you read to a child and engage them, it allows for language development, whether it's informal or formal. So that study is very accurate.
Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness. That's just horrible.
Again, opportunity. Not everyone has the same opportunity. How many homes do you know that don't have any books?
Right.
How many homes do you know where the parents don't have a high literacy level?
Right.
So they themselves didn't have that opportunity. So how do we expect them to provide the opportunity? They don't know. And so having early childhood programs, it's not just about the children, like you said. It's about supporting the parents. It shows them skills that they may not have had the ability to learn because of their own generational history. So we want to try to break the cycle. Families feel supported when their children are involved in early childhood initiatives.
And it's huge because, I'm a Head Start baby. I went to Head Start.
So
Yeah, I still pull on, it's so funny. My friend was laughing at me because I don't even know if this exists anymore, but the letter people, I still know my letter, I Period. Like I still know
Yes.
like those letter people stories. So I have fond memories of Head Start.
Yes.
You know, but like to
Yes.
your point, sometimes the requirements to get signed up are obstructionary. When I was working in a different county, Head Start, some of the leadership reached out to me. I was at an FQHC to say enrollment was down.
Yes.
And so I asked them, what is the process? And
Yes.
oh my goodness. Not intentional.
I get it.
But you have to come on this day to pick up the application. And you come back on this day to have the interview. Then you come back on. And I'm like, no one's going to do that. Like there's
can't.
barriers built into the process. So that's why enrollment is down.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
But
Correct.
we're held to federal guidelines that are
Yes.
then requiring all of these things.
That's correct. That's correct. And so those are, like you said, those are all the various levels of barriers. There's federal, there's state, and there's local barriers. So one of the things that we need to take a look at is how do we eliminate at least the local barriers
Right.
to make it easy for access to services.
Yeah, yeah. And you talked about like holistic care, like not just health, but mental health, spiritual health. And so how do you see like mental health and addiction, because you're in that space a little bit now as well, addiction intersecting with education and physical health? And how can we break down
The silos?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, the mind and body, it's a continuum, but we treat it differently here. It's one. I mean, the mind controls the body controls the mind, and if one's affected, the other's affected. And so when you take a look at these three systems, if you are not mentally well, if you're challenged, you're not going to be physically well. If you're not physically well, you're going to be mentally challenged. Well, both of those are going to inhibit your ability to learn. And our children, there's a higher and higher rate of mental health challenges for our children. And this was really pushed, you can see more and more post-COVID. And part of it is children learn from play. They gain a lot of skills through social development. Well, when we isolate our children and COVID, we didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
They lost some of those skill sets, or our children that were born during COVID or should have gone to school during COVID, they lagged behind because they didn't have the brain development from lack of socialization. And so when you don't have socialization, now you're at an increased risk for mental health issues. You're at an increased risk then for physical health issues. So it's really all on a continuum. All three of those are on a continuum for our children. And even for our adults. You know, because we want to encourage adults to always learn. And learning isn't necessarily, again, by formal education. There's so many ways to learn. But as adults, think about when we're stressed. Are we like able to really read something and retain it? Are we able to sit there with our jobs and work through that? So it really is for children and adults. How do we break the silos? One I think the keys is really having collaboration between those three systems, and we are getting so much better, so much better. My position is actually a testament to that. So the healthcare system, the mental health system, and the education system came together and funded my role in 2020.
Awesome.
So we broke one of those silos, and all three systems are committed still to foster other community partners with collaboration and communication and data and eliminating all of those silos. And so the initiatives that I focus on with the work of key stakeholders is doing just that. And it's unifying these systems. And I want to add actually government also.
Okay.
Because government is a significant service provider in any locality.
Absolutely.
That's where a lot of the benefits comes from. And so we have to bring government into the mix. They deal with social drivers. Education. All these systems deal with social drivers. And so I do want to expand it to government.
Do you?
I do.
You do.
I
it.
do. That's what we're doing. All of us, including Beacon.
Right. We have to.
That's right.
We have to.
Yes.
So you mentioned data in breaking down silos.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about data and how data can break down these silos and some of the work that you're doing now in our county to help crush these silos.
Well, right now we are all resource constrained. And resource constraint is not just financial. It's workforce, right? It's time, it's efficiency, and on and on and on. And so in these times of constraints, entities, whether it's local philanthropy, whether it's government, state, healthcare payers, any place that quote unquote reimburses for services, their resources are also constrained. And so they're going to ask for more data-driven programs.
As they should.
For funding. And so data is going to drive future decisions. The project that I'm working on is unifying health, human services, education, and community services to collaborate using a web-based electronic system. And that not only helps break communication silos, but it breaks referral silos for people for services. And then we're able to capitalize on the data from that system. And it's not individuals' data. It's not one person at a time. That remains private. But it's aggregate data. And it can be geodata. And we take that data and look at trajectories. So what happens in the life of? And using a no wrong door approach.
So what's that approach?
A no wrong door approach.
Okay, no wrong door.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means individuals can seek services, whether it's through benefits, through mental health, through schools, through healthcare. And there's a single social care record created for that family or that individual. And as long as we have consent to make electronic referrals, those are sent within a matter of minutes for resources. And then as we look at how those individuals' lives are improving, and that's through, are we getting better health outcomes? Are they using the emergency department less? Are they getting admitted less? Are they able to work with a job navigator now? Are they able to get their medications so that now they can actually work? Are they able to feed their families? All of that kind of data, if we have electronic referrals and communication between agencies, we break down our silos.
We do.
And we use that to then showcase to our funders and our local government in hopes of moving upstream and addressing root causes.
Yes.
Are we going to eliminate poverty? No, we're not. That's being realistic. But boy, can we address the challenges that our community conditions cause for individuals? We sure can. And we use data to do that.
It's moving us into that transformational space because right now things are very transactional.
They are.
Very transactional. And it's going to create allies and partnerships.
It is.
Because we are talking to each other through this system.
Correct.
So now it's Dr. Mater, my partner, and not just, oh, Dr. Mater, that lady that's over there at Stark Lamar.
Correct.
Right?
That's correct.
And when we start doing that, then we care about each other.
Yes.
So it helps.
Yes.
It helps.
And it's we're gonna say bye to the days of trying to call, being on hold, and I get again workforce. Right, being on hold, going through a menu, or even more importantly, giving a list to our clients or our patients and saying, here's the resources.
Oh my gosh.
Do we know if they call? Do we know if they receive them? We don't. And that's not a fault of themselves. No. They're in need. They're in crisis. They're trying to determine what's the best step for them right now and today. Using a system like this, as we make referrals, we're going to have agencies know who's being referred to them, and they can connect with these individuals. And then we're going to know that they received those resources. And again, following that trajectory. And it's open for any agency that's working with individuals. They're all part of the care team. So that communication piece is key for all of us. Breaking down those silos. Again, everyone's time is precious. And everyone's focus is precious. Everyone's energy is precious. And individuals in crisis, they are not able to do this over and over again.
Right.
And we also are very, very happy with the fact that this is trauma informed. And what that means is that our patients and our clients do not have to repeat their story over and over again. Because that's hard.
That's hard.
That's very hard. It's very emotional. It's very exhausting. And we don't move the needle when we're not trauma informed.
Yeah. That's huge. And even like with me, like, thank God I do have the ability to, but I don't want to. Like, I don't want to keep telling my story, and I don't want to keep giving you the same documents, and I don't want to keep filling out your paperwork, right?
Correct.
It's frustrating. It's a waste
It
of
is.
time. We're busy, right?
Yes.
So if we have the ability to streamline that,
Yes.
gosh darn it, we need to streamline it.
Yes.
So thank you for this work, Dr.
you're welcome.
Mader. Thank you. So you're talking about like resources. We're talking about like workforce and how workforce is limited, resources are limited. So how do we decide what to scale, what to sustain, or what to deprioritize, you know, given these limited resources?
Sure. Well, I can tell you what I do.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
And it's, first of all, I determine, you know, what are my goals? For whatever initiatives I think about or I'd like to focus on. What are my goals and what are my objectives? And then I break down those goals into manageable steps.
Okay.
That's first and foremost. You have to look at it as, here's my overarching, but how do I get there? So geometry was my least favorite math. I love math, but geometry was my least favorite. But geometry teaches you, remember that it's called proofs? You know the answer, but how did you get there?
You got to prove that you got
So
there.
how do you get there? And so it's literally incremental steps. And those incremental steps, when we accomplish them, boy, do we have this feeling of, oh, check,
I did it.
Done, I did it. It's a measurable outcome. So I look at it as a geometric proof.
Okay.
Right? Breaking down into these incremental steps. And then when I look at each of these steps, then I have this matrix that I look at myself, and actually it's used in project management.
Okay.
It's called an impact effort matrix.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a matrix is made up of typically 4 quadrants, right? And you have to determine each of these steps. Is it high? Do you get like high impact with low effort?
Right.
That's one.
Yeah.
If you have that, keep going.
Right.
That's low hanging fruit. Those are wins each time.
Yeah.
Because you're able to succeed, but with minimal effort. Then you have another one that's high impact and high effort. Okay? So that is also high impact.
Yeah.
That's where is talking about your sustainability. You still want to focus on that. Once you have these low-hanging fruits, which are scaling, you're winning.
Right.
You're winning on those.
Right.
So now you want to sustain those wins. So it's that high impact, high effort. And so taking a look at that is focus your energies and your resources on wins that can take you up into that quick win. Right?
Okay.
Another opportunity is low impact, low effort.
Okay.
Is it really going to get me to my goals? So that's really deprioritizing those types of activities because it's really not going to get you. It's just, you know, a cycle of futility in that one.
Okay.
And then finally, you have low impact, high effort. Anything that you think is in that bucket, don't do.
Don't do it.
Because you're going to be spinning your wheels
Okay.
on that. And so you want those wins for stakeholders, because all of us have stakeholders.
We do.
Right? Whether we answer to a board, we answer to funders, we all are reporting to somebody. So our stakeholders have to understand this matrix.
Okay.
And then you want to make sure you talk to them about, okay, here's my limited resources, right? Here's what I'm going to focus on. Then here's my second priority of focus. But then this group, I'm not going to prioritize it much. So the more you engage your stakeholders with your process, that also holds you accountable. Right? Because you have to be accountable not only to yourself, not only to your clients, not only to your staff, but also your stakeholders.
Yeah,
so that's what I do is I use that matrix piece for myself. And, you know, in our personal life, you do pro-con. Lists.
Right.
But in projects, it's a little bit more than just pro-con. It's really taking it down by each step.
And that takes us nicely into my next question for you. And that's around if you had the ability to create a bold 3-year plan. And I know based on your matrix, what would you prioritize?
Okay. Again, just in the last few years. So since 2020, that's really what I've been doing. Is I had this lofty goal. The way to get to that lofty goal isn't just saying we're going to do it.
Okay.
You have to have a buy-in. You have to have education. And so each year I focused on a nugget that built up then on the previous year.
Okay.
So the first year was really talking about building collaborative relationships in various sectors. I come from a healthcare sector, so that's pretty narrow mind, like narrow,
Yeah,
very narrow
focused.
focus. It's got a lot of work to do, but it's very narrow focused. Then I entered public sector, and I will tell you that I feel very blessed to have the opportunities I did when I came into the public sector.
Okay.
Because those of us in healthcare, we don't have those opportunities typically. And so having those opportunities helped me build more and more collaborative relationships, helped me understand different systems.
Yeah.
So I was very familiar with the healthcare system and the
Right.
health payer system.
Right.
But I had the opportunity to become familiar with education, more with public health, with government. And so each of us have these regulatory issues, right? And so focusing on how do you break down those communication silos is what I did in that first year.
Okay.
And then each year after, I took a project that would help me get to my goal of we're ready to have this they call it a community information exchange network that connects all of us. So we did feasibility studies. We involved stakeholders. In 2022, I released a report called The Voices of Stark County. We spent about 7 months, myself and a co-facilitator, spent 7 months. Yes, it was during COVID, so we had to do it virtually.
Okay.
But we invited residents from all over Stark County, and we had all walks of life.
Awesome.
Took that information. We asked them, what did they see as the barriers and challenges for access? And if money was no option, because we always talk about money being a restriction.
Right.
So let's take that off the table. Give us strategies. And so a report was released in June of 2022 based on what people that live in Stark County said.
Wow.
We took that information, took it to the next step. Now we involved stakeholders.
Okay.
What do you see as the challenges? And if we were to bring something to connect all of us, how would that do? How would that work for your agencies?
Right.
How would that work for our communities? And so, again, incrementally building up. And then the final phase that we did was, now we had all these voices, and we had data from other projects across the country. But what value is that for us in Stark? So we actually did, with the help of Ohio University, we did a social return on investment analysis.
Did you?
We sure did. And we spent about 6 months with the OU research team, and they did a fantastic job. I knew there was SRI,
Yeah.
but when I saw the results,
Right.
blew me away. For example, if we in Stark County serve just 10% of the population that needs physical health or mental health or substance use or transportation or housing, in 1 year's time,
Okay.
we have a $19 million cost savings
What?
just to the healthcare system. Just to the healthcare system. But can you imagine, forget the cost savings, but can you imagine we've now served those 10%?
Yes.
And so that's like a data metric that came out that was like, wow,
Huge.
wow. And there were other data metrics, but
Yeah.
that one really
That's
sticks out.
huge.
Because if we're healthy,
Yeah.
we're now moving into economic vitality.
Absolutely. We're fixing workforce development.
Yes.
We're fixing we're fixing
Ability to access education.
Yes.
Yes, we're fixing some of those
the
social
criminal
drivers.
justice system.
Yes.
We're fixing all of that.
Yes.
The issue is trying to get because your SROI, it's like it's we don't see those. It's like population health management. We're proving what didn't happen.
Correct.
So when we're talking to some funders, some
yes,
get it.
yes.
We're talking to some. They
Yes.
call it funny money.
That's correct.
So it's really hard to
That's
get them
correct.
to understand.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. And that's that catch-22.
Yes.
The nice thing for us, so we have a baseline. That's our prospective. That's like our, okay, this is what we think.
Yes.
And they were very conservative in the estimates of population we would serve, which is exactly what we wanted.
Yes.
But the beauty of it is they built us actually a social return on investment calculator
Ooh.
so that we will be putting real-time data.
I love it.
Once we actually have data in our network, and we will be using real-time data to give us outputs of SROI to then share with vendors and to share with payers and to share with local government.
That's huge.
Yes. So we have a baseline as ideal, like maybe it is a theoretical.
Yeah, but still.
But then the reality is going to help us. And the reality, the way we're going to be able to attain that reality is we need partners in the network.
Absolutely.
We need people, agencies that not only want to refer individuals, but also that can serve the individuals.
Yep.
And that's huge.
Yep. And Beacon is already in the
Yes,
network.
you are.
Beacon is, and we get referrals.
Yes,
We're
you
getting
do.
them mostly from Summit County, but
When
But
Start
when
goes
you
live,
get-
Start
we'll
goes
be getting
live
them.
in early November, and so
Awesome.
you'll have the opportunity to quote unquote turn yourself on in Stark.
I can't wait. It's huge.
I know.
It's huge.
I know.
So what do you think we undermeasure?
Okay. We undermeasure because right now we are not able to do that because of our silos.
Okay.
We undermeasure life trajectory. It's very difficult for us to pull together. If this happened to Dr. Mader in this sector, we have no idea what happened in this sector and in this sector. So we have a dichotomy.
Okay.
And so we have programs, because of the way they're designed, programs live vertically. And what that means is because of their funding and their reporting, they're siloed. They're like this, right?
Got you.
But humans, we as humans, live horizontally, where we have to cross notional boundaries of each of those sectors and programs. Because if we need one service, we really need more. And so we're living horizontally, and so that's our dichotomy. That's that silo piece. And so we're not able to measure those trajectories and metrics to allow us to say, what do we really make a difference on?
Yeah.
Because we're looking at it from our own individual lens.
Right. So we capture, I love that. So we capture Latrice in this sector, this time span of her life.
Correct.
Right. In one time span of my life, I was the population that poverty we're serving.
Yes.
But now, what did that love and compassion I got at that time, now in this span of my life, what did it do?
And then what you take a look at is, what was your journey to get to this phase of your life?
Yeah.
You know, you said you were in Head Start, right? Which means probably your family needed other resources.
We did.
But Head Start was here, Benefits Bank is here, healthcare is here.
Man.
So again, it's all
And
that
education,
vertical.
my school system is somewhere in
Correct.
there.
It's all vertical.
Yeah.
So what we need to do is we need to cross these notional boundaries as agencies and not just as individuals.
Oh, Dr. Mader, you trying to solve world hunger.
Well, I wish.
But I mean, it's possible.
It is possible. And again, this is not a novel idea. This is through years and years of research, what's happening across the country, and looking at best practices, begging and borrowing, and okay, I'm going to use the word steal, but not really steal because we're all in that space.
Yeah.
And so people are so willing to share what they've learned.
Yeah.
Because we're going to make our own mistakes,
We are.
but we can learn from others.
Yeah, that's huge. And when we talk about creating justice and creating equity, this is what we're talking about.
Yes, it
right?
is.
This is that
For all.
entire ecosystem.
That's right.
This is what we're talking about.
That's right.
And we have really, really smart people that can get us there. But we just have to do the work, and it's complex.
It is complex because it's work that we're not used to doing it this way.
Yeah.
But years ago, Stanford did, in their Stanford review, it started I think in 2010, something called collective impact.
Okay.
So collective impact framework is incredible. And that's what all of my work has been based on. Collective impact is when stakeholders in various communities come together to address a social issue. And they work collaboratively, all rowing in the same direction, keeping their own missions, but working in the same direction, and they use data to impact social change.
I love it. Collective impact. I need to
It
do
is.
some research on that,
Correct.
right? Because that's what we're missing, right? Because I talked to Mike Galena. We were talking about why don't we always make progress?
Yes.
Like we meet and we meet and we meet. And his
Yes.
point was no one is owning the work.
That's correct.
Right? We're all coming to the table, but who's really owning the work? So that
Correct.
collective impact, I think that that's the frame that I want to start communicating from, because it is collective. And
It
how
is.
do we achieve it? How do we get there? We have to
is.
start thinking in that way.
Correct.
We have to.
Correct.
And the research has been done. And so that's another thing. Like nothing is new.
Nope. 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 Nope.
We're just not uncovering what's already out. Like my dad used to tell me, I'm trying to stop you from bumping your head on the same walls I bumped my head on, right? We're bumping our head on the same walls that Stanford bumped their head on when they created this study.
Correct.
And we're
Correct.
just not pulling it and studying it and implementing it.
Well, and it was actually started in the Cincinnati, Kentucky area.
Was it?
With a program called Strive, which was an education program. It was school districts coming together with other collaborative partners because they didn't like the scores of the students.
Wow.
And so their social change issue was, how do we improve the scores?
Right.
So that was actually what started Collective Impact. And then it has just expanded into other things across the country.
Yeah.
One of the things that I want to make sure that we have for my initiative is 3 advisory councils. Again, collective impact. So one is, of course, leadership. The second is the partners in the network. Everyone needs to have a seat at the table.
Yeah.
And then third and most importantly are the people that are affected by
the
social
PFAS.
drivers. That's right.
Yeah.
And so having all of that input can only make the network stronger. Because again, like I said, we're going to make our own mistakes.
Yeah.
And we're not going to be able to know until people tell us how to
Exactly.
improve. And it's not about being punitive.
Right.
It's again, moving the needle for improvement, for social impact.
Yeah. And one thing that that sticks out to me in what you said is they didn't like the scores. So we have to find out what's going to motivate us all.
That's correct.
Right? What is that pain point? What's giving all of us indigestion? And let's rally behind it.
Root cause.
Root cause.
Yes.
Root cause.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't wait. I'm excited. And so I have a miracle question for you. I
Okay.
ask all of my guests a miracle question.
Okay.
If one system barrier could vanish tomorrow, allowing all of this great stuff that we talked about to actually work seamlessly together for transformation, what would you see that needing to be?
It's as simple as communication and data silos.
Amen.
It's all about talking to each other and being okay with sharing our data.
And doesn't that sound simple?
It does sound simple,
But it's not.
but that's what we're working on. That's what we're working towards.
And this is the thing. It's a look at me being Latrice. So you're going to create the system. You're going to create the mechanism that will enable us to seamlessly do this.
That's right.
But this whole people part over here, that's going to give us a headache.
It is, but if we, again, 3 buckets, right? 3 buckets. The rah-rah-rah cheerleaders.
Okay.
High impact, low effort.
That's me. I'm a cheerleader.
Focus, focus, focus on that. The medium bucket of people. Let me kind of wait. I'm kind of interested, but let me see. Focus on that. That's your sustainability.
Got you.
Your third bucket,
The
they don't want.
naysayers don't even mess
At
with
this
them.
At this point, the efforts should be tied on those first 2
I
buckets.
like it.
Because ultimately, you're going to have the time and energy to then focus on the naysayers and in hopes even getting them into the medium bucket.
Because they're going to see results.
Exactly.
I follow you.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll do better.
You're doing great, Latrice.
I'll be kind. I'll be kinder.
Oh,
it's
you
just, we just run into that thing of, well, this is my data and I don't want to share it and who's
get
going to
it.
see it. But you do a really good job. So Kayla, our community health worker, was at your session where you were kind of
wonderful.
unpacking. I didn't get to
Wonderful.
attend because I was out of town. But she was able to articulate, because I've heard it from you, so I know.
Yes.
But she was able to articulate seamlessly what this is going to do, what we're trying to do, and the impact. So that lets me know you have a communication style that'll rally people along.
Wonderful.
Like you communicate it in a way that we get it. You know, sometimes we tend to talk above people's head, or people can't really connect dots, but you connect the dots. So everyone is going to come along on this, and it's a great system.
It is. Again, it's proven.
Yeah.
It has been proven.
Collective impact.
That's right.
That is my takeaway.
Good.
Today.
I'm glad. That's the motto.
That's awesome. Dr. Mary, it was great talking. It's always great talking to you. Before we end, is there anything that we didn't talk about that you weren't able to share that you would like our listeners to know?
I just want to thank you for the opportunity. I think that having partners like yourself willing to just even listen, and then think about how does that affect my organization, but more importantly, the individuals I serve. The more of that foresight we have, the stronger our network will be.
And once we get this rolled out, so today is October the 3rd, 2025. Once we get this rolled out and we have about a year under our belt, I want to bring you back, and I want us to just talk about the wins associated with this, and just talk about how it unraveled, the changes that it's making, because I know it's going to be impactful. I have no doubt.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
I appreciate
Dr.
it.
Mader.